All right, I'm live right now. Welcome, everybody. This is Brother Francis Revels-Bey. I am the founder of the Circle of Grace One. That's the Circle of Grace One, like you see back there, which was established and founded on July 2nd of 1974. I've been a spiritual practitioner, meditation teacher since 1974. When I was first introduced to meditation in the middle of my freshman year, which was the spring of 1971, while a student at Bard College. Bard, B-A-R-D, College, which is upstate New York in the Mid-Hudson region, as they call it. Well, anyway, I'm on tonight with another random podcast, so to speak. Usually, when I call them random, is because my ancestors tell me when I should be on. So I don't have a set schedule. Like I couldn't tell you that I'll be here every Monday night, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night or afternoon, because this work is metaphysically and spiritually produced from my ancestors and many of my own spirit guides from across the veil into this one. So this is an opportunity to be able to come on and share. Now, what I'm going to do tonight is first and foremost is a little commercial. Tomorrow, which represents usually every Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I am the resident meditation teacher, and I teach meditation from different forms, but especially from my Creative Pathwork meditation series. Usually there at the Center, Resident Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics, I have a small circle and sometimes medium sized, sometimes large, which means I might teach someone that shows up and it's just myself and that person, or myself and two people, or it might be 8 people. We usually have chairs set up for 8, 7 other students other than myself. What is also very significant is that I am helping people understand how important meditation can be for themselves. And we do it in a group format because many people find it more difficult to sit at home or go into a park or go into the great outdoors of nature or even sit in their car and meditate alone. And it's not easy, especially when thoughts are coming up all the time. So I like to let people know that if you are ever here in the city of Albuquerque or anywhere near Albuquerque, New Mexico, come on out on Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The class fee is only $10. And I keep it that way because a lot of seniors like to come, and usually that's what they can handle. So I kind of keep it that way for everybody. I usually teach for about 45 minutes, and then I get some feedback from the students who are present. Now, tomorrow, since I'll be doing that at 11:30 in the morning to 12:30 p.m., you got to come at least 5-10 minutes early to get your seat and get settled. Tomorrow afternoon is a very special event that I usually do once a year at different times, different seasons of the year. I'm doing something called an Afternoon of Remembrance with myself, Brother Francis. And that entails taking everybody that's there on a guided meditation derived out of my many creative pathwork meditations I've done since 1996, well over 400 or 500 of these meditations, some of them channeled right on the spot. And I can guarantee you tomorrow I'm going to be channeling one right at that moment. We're going to kick it off at about 1 p.m. and we should be done by 3 p.m. The cost for that is $30 per person. And the reason why I'm mentioning the fees, because I'm going to upload this video later to my Facebook page and to Resident Essentials home page on Facebook, because many people are still trying to decide if they should come or not. Usually I can handle up to about 25, 30 people or a little more than that. I've done at least 38 people. And what happens is, again, I guide everyone through a special meditative journey that I am also participating in at the same time. And just before I release that journey to the group, I'm also using my own light language to help elevate the energy within the individuals that are present. Then I bring them out of the guided journey, and then I go around the room, not necessarily in order, is wherever I'm pulled to go, and I give each person who participated in the meditation a mini reading. Now, each person that receives a mini reading from me during that meditation, they are free to record it. The only thing you can't record is the actual meditation itself and any sounds that you hear coming through me and any descriptions at that time before I put you into the meditation. Then, if we have enough time, and depending on how many people, I will go around to each person and ask for them to ask me a question, and I can give them some further insight. So, I'm looking forward to all of you out there in the Facebook community when you see this, especially at Resonant Essentials Facebook page and my Circle of Grace One Facebook page and my profile page, Brother Francis Revels-Bey. So now we're done with those commercials. Let's get rolling. Tonight, I am going to be available to you, whoever is tuned in, to give you some numerology insights. That means you might have some questions about what numerology is, and you can type it into the chat room. You might have some questions about your date of birth or the direction that you might be going in, or what should you be doing. I will give you that. You might have information that popped up in a dream, and you're not sure how to look at that dream. Well, I'm someone who's also has dealt with dreams since 1978 or so. Or maybe someone gave you a tarot reading and you got a Pacific card, but you don't remember what the card could mean. I could give you that information as well. So, with that being said, and at the same time, giving you toward the end of this live podcast a guided meditation. I'm going to be also giving out information that I'm feeling that's coming up, welling up inside of me by my ancestors, Mother Grace, who was my very first spiritual and metaphysical teacher, who the Circle of Grace One is in honor of, because it's essential that we give honor to those who opened the door for us. She opened the door for me. I will also be giving you information, if necessary. It could come from Father Napoleon, which is my late dad, Mom's husband. Or you might get information from Mother Grace's mother, my grandma Charlotte. Or you might get information from beloveds Akhenaten and Nefertiti, who sometimes pass through here with some information. Now, I've also received information from many other uh, beings who are on the side. About 10 years ago, someone came to me during a group house meditation, and they were asking me what could they do for their son. And lo and behold, while I was vibrating and tuning into that particular son's energy with his permission, lo and behold, standing behind him energetically was the late Michael Jackson. And so I was able to receive that information as much as I could, clarify it, and give it to the young man, which helped him as time went on in his own life. And he was just a teenager then. So many times I might get information that just pops in. I've also been channeling, associated with a channeling group here on Facebook that is called High Vibe Channeling. And the people who are high vibe channelers, they are channeling galactic beings uh, from the other side, from the other worlds, other dimensions, other realms of consciousness. Some follow Bashir, which is Daryl Anchor. That's his guide that he works with, and many others. And so it's basically has grown from a North American group into a part connected to Canadian group, then connected to European countries. So we have people there from Italy, Spain, I believe Germany, perhaps also South America and Africa, coming in, Akibulan, many other people graduating, moving in this direction. And if you're a person who channels, I would tell you to go to High Vibe Channeling on Facebook and get yourself in there as an active member. And then you're privy to different people channeling different beings who are giving some very pertinent information for all of us that is necessary right now. So, one of the things I want to talk about before I jump into the meditation or the numerology for this evening is that I'm receiving uh, an upload and a download at the same time. But one of the things I want you to realize is no matter what is going on in the world that we see that's happening, all the craziness that we see, all the things that bring up fear, all the things that are threatening collective humanity, we do have sources of infinite sources that are reaching out to us. Some of them come to us by way of the dream world because it's easier for us to receive them and feel comfortable with those beings when they come to us. Many are starting to make their presence known not only through dreams, but through telepathy and acoustic sound. What I mean by acoustic sound, I'm quite sure many of you that are watching right now have been in your car, in your home, at work, or maybe you work from home, or you're just sitting there, and then you hear someone call your name. And as my late mother would say, they call your name as if it was clear as the day, bright as the sun. You hear your name called out to you. Sometimes we need to allow ourselves to go into meditation because meditation helps us to become more sensitive to those kind of events that take place in our lives. The more you meditate, the more sensitive you become, the clearer you become mentally and emotionally. Because when things come through the spiritual realm to you, how you're thinking must be clear and how you are feeling must be clear. And if you can get your thinking and feeling on the same page with a great deal of clarity, then when things manifest into the physical form on your body, in your auric field, or in places around you, you will be able to understand it distinctively, very clearly for yourself without any doubt in your mind. And so many of us now are starting to float to the surface within our own consciousness. And we are beginning to hear these beings talk to us. Now, many of you have been talking to various ancestral beings for a very long time. So, for example, if you walk the path of the Yoruba religion, you are in communication with those divine energy beings. If you're into Santeria, you're in touch with those beings. If you are dealing with all kinds of all different paths, you are in touch. You have been communicating with them. This is why people have various ceremonial rituals that are done on certain days and certain months, and they may go for a week or so or an entire month. Why? Because you're calling up that particular ancestral deity, which is in a way leading you upon your particular path at that time. Many people are still following the prophecies of the Hopis. Many people are following the prophecies not only of the Hopis, but all the other people around the world. Many people around the world have their own sets of prophecy. So it's important to find that particular one that you feel comfortable with, or they will find you because it's your time. And what I mean by that is a lot of people like to work with unicorn energy or dragon energy, and they think, "Oh, I'm ringing up the unicorn, I'm ringing up the dragon energy." Or people say, uh, "I want to get some selenite. Here's a selenite rod that I'm going to use tomorrow. I'm going to blow into it, and I'm going to pull the energy through it, and it's going to help raise the vibration for everybody in the group as well as myself, so I can distinctly give them information." But if you're walking around in your house with selenite on you, like I wear selenite and moldavite underneath my t-shirt, on a plate of silver, and I have a copper bracelet that I wear. All these things are what you have going on the inside. We all have the element of copper on the inside. We all have selenium on the inside. So when selenium kind of, the trace mineral, when the body needs more of it, it start radiating that energy throughout your system. And then you go, ding, light bulb goes on. And now you go out and purchase some selenite. Why? Because the body needs the selenite. And when the body needs the selenite, it causes you to receive more light and energy through that particular gemstone. Many people say, "Well, hey, you're talking about gemstones. They're not alive." No, there are deities, divine essences, Deva kingdom energies associated with every gemstone and overall the gemstone community. Just like there are a Deva communication that's happening between what you think is the mythological creature, a phoenix, unicorn, and dragon, when in another world, those things are real. And then they keep coming to you. And when they come to you, anything you saw in the movie about them is now erased because now you're going to get the real information because that particular entity has chosen you. And usually, if a dragon chooses you, the dragon has come to give you a taste of courage. I'm going to say that again. The dragon has come to give you a taste of courage. So it's no accident when you look at the martial arts. As an example, Bruce Lee. He was called what? The Little Dragon. Because he got so much into the character of those vibrations that when people faced him, they faced the energy, the spirit of a dragon. They didn't just face him. Now, he was a perfectionist in the martial arts because he worked every day. He worked on his body every day. He studied philosophy. And through philosophy, he met up with many other martial artists. And what was that designed to do? He wasn't trying to win or lose a contest. He was testing out Jeet Kune Do. That's what he was doing. He wanted to make it powerful. Now, he's left the planet at a very early age, just like his son did. But Jeet Kune Do lives on because of him. So can you imagine when you're out in the world doing your metaphysical and spiritual work as well as occult work that changes you? You in essence change your environment. You in essence change your neighborhood. Some of the people in your neighborhood begin to gravitate towards you because you're doing something that's creating change in your own life. And I can guarantee you, the right people will find you. I'll give you an example of myself. About, I would say about 3 years ago or more, 4 years ago. In fact, further back than that, this is in 2016. 2016, I was living more west of here, a little bit more south, but more west, on the west side of Albuquerque. And I went out during that time, 2015, 2016, I was doing solar gazing with an online group. But I had been solar gazing as far back as 2013. I just didn't know that there were other people out there practicing solar gazing at sunrise and sunset. And this particular day, I decided to go to one of those Dollar Tree stores to get a few things and then treat myself out for breakfast or lunch somewhere. So I walked into the Dollar Tree and I got a few things that I needed. And I got online behind this woman who had like a daughter and she had two daughters and a son. The daughter, one of the daughters was the oldest. And she had them stand on different lines so that she could try to like move through the line quicker. So the oldest daughter, ironically, was named Grace. And I was like bubbling up inside. I said, my late mother's name is Grace. This is no accident. Well, this young girl who just turned about 10 or 11 years of age, named Grace, that was her birthday. That particular day. And her mother asked her, what did she wanted to do for her birthday? And she looked at her mother and she looked around everybody at the store. And she said, well, hopefully I'll get something to give to someone. Well, there was some money on the floor by them. To me, it just looked like a piece of paper. And the young girl picked it up. And she was trying to catch up to the lady outside who just left. She said, man, is this your money? And the lady said, it's not mine. She asked a man who was around. And he said no. She came back and said, Mommy, nobody claimed this money. What should I do? And the mother looked at her and says, well, if no one claimed it, you could keep it. And this young girl named Grace says, no, Mommy, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to give it away. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. So the mother said, follow your heart. She turns around, looks around. She walks around. Two people comes to me, tokes on my jacket. And I said, yes. And she's looking in my eyes. And I had just got finished solar gazing 2 hours, 3 hours before this. She looks in my eyes and she goes, oh, Mommy, this man has beautiful brown eyes, but I can see the sun coming out of his eyes. She said, Mister, what is your name? I said, my name is Francis. She goes, well, today's my birthday, and my name is Grace, and I would like to give you this $20 bill. And I started to say, are you sure? But I could hear my mother say, her name is Grace. She's giving you a blessing. So I said, thank you. Thank you very much. And her mother said, why did you give it to him and not the person behind you? She told the mother like this, that man has light in his eyes. I could see the sun in his eyes. And I just remained calm. That was definitely a blessing. and I gratefully received that $20. Things like that can happen to us, where people can recognize that we're here in the world bringing more goodness into the world. When I went outside, the little girl waved to me, and I waved back. And I waved to her brother and sister, and I waved to the mother. And I went on about the rest of my day. Things like this is happening like in a level of synchronicity. Many things are happening in our life in such a way that we're being blessed without realizing it. Now, there's a lot of things going on in this world. Astrologically, if you were to look it up, there's a lot of things happening already next year in January, such as Saturn, I think, leaves Pisces. No, Neptune leaves Pisces. Neptune is sitting in Pisces right now. So we see a lot of illusions in the world. People got a lot of prominent dreams that pop up, a lot of symbolism. They feel a little bit more empathic, uh, more centered with their emotions, or sometimes out of balance with their emotions, but also at the same time feeling a heightened psychic awareness that's happening with themselves. Well, coming up, I believe in January, mid-January, January 26th or so, I read online where Saturn is going to move into Aries. Well, I keep saying Saturn, but it's Neptune moving into Aries. So now all you Arians out there, all the Aries people are going to be dealing with some of their illusions, but they're going to be dealing with things that make them happy. A lot of Aries people are going to have a lot of psychic energy start coming to them that they can utilize. So that is something that's of significance. But we're going to see at least 5 planets, according to some things that I found online, that are going to bring our awareness and increase it in such a way that we're going to begin to shift. We're having a shift right now. We're moving toward seeing a better us, despite all of the things happening in the world that are negative, that are pushing our buttons. So if you feel like your buttons are being pushed, they are. But your higher self is in agreement with it, because your higher self is the reflection of your divine presence in the greater scenario of the galactic universe. Your higher self is huge, and it's waiting for you to begin to open your heart so it could come through. So our higher self is moving us in that direction. And so in my book, Radiant Heart, the 7 amazing pathways to connect, activate, and communicate with your higher self. This book is revealing to you that you need to be about your business, getting in touch, and communicating with your higher self, finding ways for you to bring the higher self into place. You want to be able to communicate. Your higher self is your true self. That's who we really are. And the more we reach for it, the greater we shall become. The more you reach within yourself to let your higher self materialize in your life, the greater you shall be. Your higher self can help you go within and strengthen every part of yourself by releasing the following to you. This is what your higher self is going to bring in: DNA and the codes of light embedded into them. Our maps of consciousness. Now, what are the maps of consciousness in the sense that I'm using it? We have the 7 chakras, and we have minor chakras. Well, throughout the body, according to the Oriental system of acupuncture, we have 365 points, locations in the body. We got all of them. 365 is 365 of realms of consciousness. We have Akashic insights. What are the Akashic Insights? The Akashic Insights is the mind of creation itself that has everything that's recorded within the mind of creation of itself, of every civilization that's existed, those that we haven't even seen yet. There are more gemstones that we have not even met yet. There are more frequencies, sound frequencies, that we don't really know about yet. So we're beginning to reveal ourselves to ourselves. We've already accepted the fact for hundreds of years that we've come into this planet to forget who we are. Well, we can't keep doing that, because the more we keep forgetting who we truly are, the more we're going to feel like we're being beat up, spiritually raped, and spiritually hung. So we need to invite that higher self. We need to step in to the higher self. Also, you begin to have total recall of all your dreams. That means the dreams you had in this lifetime, when you were younger, when you were a teenager, when you're a younger adult, when you're a senior. Guess what? You're going to dream the dreams you had even before this lifetime. You're going to remember them as well. You're going to have self-healing for general health and wellness. In other words, you're going to figure out how to heal yourself. You're not going to wait on not even the holistic doctor, because you're going to have access to many holistic things. But not only just a holistic doctor outside in your community or in another state, you're going to begin to remember what you did with herbs, the salves, the ointments, the teas, the drinks, the bandages, the pills, the powders, the teas. You're going to reflect and you're going to bring that forward. You're going to begin to balance the left with the right hemispheres. You know, we got that little groove part in the brain down the center that's going to fuse together one day. And now both sides are going to interact. Back here is going to interact with the front. This is going to be active. You're going to be communicating with all elementals: fire, air, water, earth, and ether, and more. You're going to have intuitive awareness and elevation. So you're not going to be looking behind the 8 ball anymore. You're going to be looking through the 8 ball as if the 8 ball is a crystal ball. That's what you're doing now. All of us are doing that. So when we see these things that happen in the news, these things are designed to poke and push our buttons. Mother Grace says, we cannot hide behind the rocks anymore. We cannot be shy about who we are. We have to begin to start communicating on a regular basis with your ancestral deific guides. We have to start communicating on a regular basis with these guides. We wouldn't be in this predicament that we find ourselves in if we had been initiating and bringing them guides forward. Not just clearing, in other words, not just asking Ganesha or Alegba and all these other beautiful deities to open up the roadways. We would have been calling them to encircle us, to protect us and our loved ones and our families and our ancestors. One of my elder cousins told me, he said, "Cuz, do you realize we are the manifestations of our ancestors' prayers?" And I started to think about that. We, the millions of us that are walking on the earth, trillions of us, are the result of all the prayer work that our ancestors within our lineage have been doing when they were having rough times surviving. They were praying for those who they came after to be healed. They were praying for those who would come after them to not ever have to experience the trials and tribulations they were going through. So it is left up to us to be the best that we can be at whatever we choose and do it well with a level of mastery so that we clear the path for the little ones in our lives, for your nieces, your nephews, your sons, your daughters, your grandchildren, your great-grands. They chose you because there's something inside of you that's going to propel them forward in their life. And they will get to know you and link into you and realize, oh, I can utilize that path. Oh, I can utilize that particular tool. Oh, I feel like I'm supposed to write a book. And then you go out and write the book. Oh, I think I'm supposed to develop a school. And then you find out that someone in your lineage didn't have a chance to develop a school. But you're the one that's going to develop the school. You're the one that's going to follow through and make it happen. So you will be able to make it happen because you got all those ancestors behind you looking to make it happen through you. Just like what you're doing is going to help the ones that follow you. So we have to reach and go within. It's essential that we go within and we communicate with the inner being known as the higher self. We don't need to be a prisoner to this world. We need to reactivate the world and make it happen. So I got this message that's coming pretty strong through me. Two beautiful beloved beings, Akhenaten and Nefertiti. And what their message this evening, for whoever's listening now, who chooses to listen later, when it's recorded on my page, whoever wants to listen days later, they both come together and they say, beloveds, you have been toiling for such a long time. We ask that you no longer toil. You no longer worry. You no longer work so hard to fulfill your dreams, to fulfill your heart's desires. You see, family, we share the same wants and hopes and dreams. We share the same or similar anxieties and stress. During our time, we dealt with the Amun priesthood, who did not want us to teach others to be self-empowered. Today, you might call that word to be sovereign. But what's more important is that you begin to understand that you're not meant to suffer. You're meant to prosper. And there's all forms, all ways, all methods that are infinite in which you can choose and develop so that you may prosper abundantly. Now, what does that mean? Yes, that also means finances, but it also means connections, alliances, business partners, getting to know more people in the creative arts, getting to know more people in the metaphysical fields, getting yourself in position so people can hear the wisdom pouring through you, the things that you think about, the things where your heart resides the most. We want all of you to consider taking a peek across the various veils that are around you and find those infinite parts of yourself that are already living prosperously, abundantly, healthy, wealthy, with greater wisdom. There's many of you across the veils who are pondering deeply about another part of yourself, which also can be you. We want you to take into consideration now that you can remember how to remotely view these higher aspects of yourself. Once you begin to do that, you will know just how potent you are. You will understand that you are the omnipotent one. You will understand that you have presence. You will understand that your pineal gland has never been closed. You will understand that your pituitary gland has never been closed. You will understand that the pituitary, the pineal gland are connected to these orbs in your face. So when you look out of both eyes, you're actually looking out of the eyes of the pineal gland. There's no accident that the cardinals of Rome and the Pope is walking around with a gold staff that has an acorn, golden acorn attached to it. In the plaza of the Vatican, there's a globe and there's an acorn. The acorn is a symbol of the pineal gland that is open. And the pineal gland connected to the pine tree means forever. So can you imagine walking down this spiritual, metaphysical, and occult path to redefine who you are and begin to birth a new you into this world? Many beings are living not just outside of this current globe, not just beyond this galaxy, but they're also alive and well, deep down in the belly, in the womb of the earth. They're moving around and about, crisscrossing all over the world from inside, traveling from inside to all parts of the globe. Our brothers and sisters, we want you to get to know that the gemstones that you are attracted to are meant for you as keys to unlock the many worlds around you. You should practice, and we're going to use the word practice lightly, but you should be seated in a chair and have a chair opposite you. And we want you to post or travel or walk etherically to that chair. We want you to inspect that chair, which will prove to you that time and space do not exist. That's right. Time and space are an illusion. You're just using time to measure out something, but you're not controlled by that time. We want you when you lay prone on your sleeping quarters. We want you to consider lifting your energetic body out of your physical body and visit other worlds, other realms of consciousness, because you can. Do you know that a mother maintains an intricate, detailed connection to her children? Even if a mother gives away a child, she's going to feel that child thinking about her. If a father abandons his son or daughter, he's going to still carry that connection, and that child is always going to remember him or her that abandoned them. We have these innate abilities to connect with anyone in the universe. Brothers and sisters, you're going to do it soon. Now, others might say, soon could be 100 years from now. Soon could be 1,000 years. No, right now. Do you realize that often you are not really asleep at night? No, you are not really asleep. You are traveling, utilizing the theta and delta waves of the brain cells. You are traveling into other realms of consciousness, teaching and being taught, communicating and networking, remembering how just divine you really are. So we want you to love yourselves more, because unconditionally, your love will strike a match inside of you, and the torch of light of your divinity will be seen by others very, very clearly. You will be able to articulate your thoughts, your philosophies. You're going to find yourself communicating with those who you admire. And I want you to realize they admire you as well. They seek to learn from you as well. So, before Nefertiti and I, Akhenaten, close this down and open the floor up for this brother to share numerology insights with you, I want you, and we say to you, continue to bless yourselves with unconditional love and divine grace. Divine grace is everything. We want you to forgive yourselves on a daily basis by forgiving yourselves for anything that you did not accomplish, for any reason that you felt you may have hurt somebody or lashed out at somebody or controlled or manipulated somebody. We want you to know that those things do happen. They happen because you need to work on your shadow side, the side that you hide from the world. And in the shadows, in the closets, in your cell, there's also a divine presence called your higher self. And you've got to bring that higher self forward now. You cannot sit on it and go, I'm afraid to bring it forward. I'm going to change and I'm going to leave others behind. No, if you bring out your higher self, if you continually reach upward and be more of your higher self, you will give others the courage to do the same. And once it begins to ricochet, have a domino effect that everybody is being more of their higher self, the negative poisons that you see in the world will melt and dissolve faster. In fact, the worlds won't split. It's just you'll see less negativity and more positivity. You'll be affirming the positive. You won't be becoming a negative prayer. You'll be a positive prayer. So until next time, as I am beloved Akhenaten, and the presence of Sister Nefertiti are being channeled for you this evening. We look forward to seeing you in your dream world, and we want you to reach out and communicate with all the ancestral deities that you find yourself being drawn to, because they're going to assist you to get through this. And this also involves beings from Andromeda, Lyra, Sirius. Those who have remembered being in Atlantis will come forward. Now's the time. Do not wait. Communicate. Peace, love, and blessings. Our grace is your grace. All right. We want to. Hey, Chef. Is that Chef Nikki? Yes. How are you doing? Sometimes I never know how something's going to come forward through me, but I'm glad I'm following the call. Um, I'm here also to give some numerology insights, which means you might have a question about the direction that you're heading in, that you're completing in this year, and then heading into next year according to the birth month and birth day that you are born on. So, if you have any such questions, I will write down the month, and birth day that you know that you were born in this lifetime and give you an analysis. What I would also um, ask you to do, if you are feeling something flowing that a close friend of yours needs to hear, invite them into this. Uh, I started at about 8:30, so I've almost been on an hour, and I have a big day tomorrow. I have class at 11:30 in the morning in person out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, teaching my creative pathwork meditation at 11:30 in the morning to 12:30. So I got to get up early because the president of the metaphysical school, she doesn't live far from me, and she'll be picking me up to bring me there. Also, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. later tomorrow, I will be doing an Afternoon of Remembrance with Brother Francis. And what I do is I energize the room with light language and with my selenite healing rod. And then I will carry everybody present into a guided meditation that will be more than likely channeled. Um, Usually I keep people in that meditation for at least 20 minutes. Sometimes if I can do it longer, if I have a smaller group, I'll do it longer. Uh, and then I bring everybody out, but I stay linked in myself. And then I go around the room and give everybody a mini reading. And at some point, if we don't have too many people, I'd like to be able to work with 30, 40 people tomorrow. Let everybody get that message. And then we'll be able to fly from there. And that event is a $30 event. The meditation is 10 in the morning, but that event is $30. So, and that's for people. And some people have asked me, could I have it a live feed? Well, we've tried that before, and Spirit doesn't want that, because when we do a live feed, that means someone has to follow me around with a camera, and while we're feeding it out online, and that interrupts my flow because information is being pulled through me. I'm filling the entire room, and I'm pulling information from all over, the energy waves that are flowing through, so we don't have any live feed that way. And it also protects other people. Yes, she could. Shantae could walk that path. She would have to make sure. Let me put this. She would have to make sure that she feels comfortable with it. Now, she has the teaching quality. The number 15 is a teacher, okay? But she has a master number in her birth year, which is the 77, which is 7 plus 7 is 14, which is 5. But 1977 adds to, uh, gives her a 6 vibration. Yeah, so her birth year is a 24, which is a 6. 6 is Venus, and that's her ruling planet for Libra. So she has the number 13, which is a 4, as a destiny or life path number. And what that means for Shantae is she's going to have to pull deep within herself. 13 is sort of like a Scorpio number. And with the number 13, it means she could build. She could definitely build. She should definitely learn something about children's psychology. But as we know in the field of education, children are the same and sometimes not. And what I mean by that is children come from various households. So if the household for each child is very positive, then that child gives forth a breath of positivity where their heart is wide open to learn and to be cared for in an educational setting. But if that child is dealing with fears and doubts and angers and addictions and things in a home environment, when they go off to school, school is the only place where they can be free. And that's why you get a lot of children acting out in school, because they can't be themselves at home. They can't be, they can't fight what they're going through at home. So they bring that energy to the school. So she's going to have to study all of those scenarios and get a firm understanding. The 1977 vibration, or when you have a master double digit number at the end of the birth year, what that actually means is that a person will frequently change their mind. So she might say that she wants to, and then maybe a couple of months later, I don't want to. So you have to, Shantae is going to have to figure out what is important for her to do. So I'm getting a message from my grandma Charlotte for her. And Charlotte says, this is a time of great awakening. This time of great awakening for everybody means that people can now begin to step onto their real path. Shantae has this opportunity to step on her real path, which is to be an educator of children. But she should study psychology, cultural things, because that's going to be important, and also the setting or the environment. She should work, if she chooses to go into this educational thing with children, it's going to be very important for her to work with different gemstones. And I'm seeing around her right now, she needs to work with amethyst, purple amethyst. She needs to work with fluorite. She's going to need some rose quartz. And if she can get these like in a necklace, like in a beaded necklace, that will be good. And she's going to need some selenite. And then she's going to need a grounding stone. And a grounding stone will be for her. Um, well, she's going to have some malachite in there, and then she's going to have obsidian. So if you can make up for her a beaded wrist bracelet or earrings that have amethyst, fluorite, rose quartz, selenite, malachite, and obsidian, that's 6 stones. If she can have it like in a necklace or earrings, it'll help her be more grounded. Golden Timeline 711. I was thinking about you earlier today. That's 3-1 or 3-eye Atlas, aka Avaru. Let's see. We do some numerology with that. Well, it brings forth a 12, which is a 3. 12 is a form of destiny, but there's something popping up. Think of 12 as 12th house of astrology. There's some hidden things about Avaru, some very hidden bits and pieces of information. Now, I kind of get the feeling that Avaru is actually going to cause people to become prophetic for themselves. In other words, they have an opportunity to tune in to their own destiny from a completely different angle that they've never imagined before. Avaru is carrying forth hidden entities. And these hidden entities, as I'm understanding, can be upsetting, chaotic, disruptive, but challenging. The presence of Avaru coming now is going to ask the collective, are they willing to stamp out illusions and chaos? Avaru is carrying forth within itself, within the sound of those words, those letters, Ava, almost like mother, Ava, connection to Venus a little bit, sound in there. And the Ru, a part of the runic energy, revealing an essence of divinity. So it's going to be important for the planet, the galaxy, the collective federation, as they call it, of higher beings that are watching everything that's going on, to delve into Akashic energy and begin to bring forth greater truth. And I don't know why I'm getting this, but I just heard that in my head, Anunnaki has a lot to do with Avaru. The Anunnakis, who are also moving about in the ethers, are aware of Avaru's presence and may have a direct connection to Avaru being present. That's what I just heard. And it's interesting because all day long, the word Anunnaki has been hovering around me for some time. Yes. Now, for Rochelle, thank you, Holly. Rochelle, Rich L. She rich. L is a French pronoun for her or she. And rich is what we know, right? Rich. She has an opportunity to step in to the holistic herbology field and business. What's going to be highly important for her to do is not to be afraid to do so. She is in a 5 personal year, and that 5 personal year is all about marketing. That's where she is right now as of 10/13/2025. For the month of January of next year, that's a 1 month. Adding the 5, that's going to be a 6 personal month. So January will be the time frame for her to investigate that herbal holistic business, to do a lot more research. Because on her birthday, 10/13 of 2026, she's going to enter a 6 personal year. And when you go from a 5 to a 6, all eyes are upon you. That means other people that she's connected with are paying attention to her lead. What direction is she choosing to go in? I'm hearing that she needs to understand how to market herself and market her products. And she's also going to have to step forward, not sit in the shadows, but just kind of step forward. I'm also hearing that since she's born on the 13th, that's a Scorpio number. 13 is a powerhouse number. So 1 plus 3 is 4. She could develop a product line of 4 items. Now, her birth key numbers are the 4, the 1, and 6, followed by alternative numbers 2 and 7. So let's take it to this point. She needs to step forward eventually with 7 products, something in an ointment, something in a cream, something that's oil based. That could be 1 right there. She needs a something like a soap or a lotion or something for the hair and skin. That's a second way. She could break this down to, like, if she wants, 3 distinctive items or 4 distinctive items, and then there are variations of those items. She should, if she gets started, she can get started in and close to her birthday, 10/13/2026, because the year after that, she steps into a 7. And then the year after that, so 2 years after, she's going to be in an 8 personal year. So what she needs, she'll be in an 8 by the time she hits 2028, right in there. So what she needs to do is she needs to prepare herself right now. Do all the networking she can do. Find out the different places where there's events like street festivals, expos, indoor events, where people are doing holistic things. Like a long time ago, 10, 15 years ago, all over the United States, there used to be things called the Whole Life Expo. She needs to get in touch with people who do those large events inside of hotels so she can be present. She needs to create that logo, play with it right now so she can get that together, get that on paper so she can start to move forward. Mother Grace says, don't wait. Stop waiting. Stop trying to find out, should I or shouldn't I? Why? Because there's other people who are going to be doing. So she's going to have to network as much as possible. Avaru feels feminine to me. The reason why I say that, because the letter A, the letter A represents the four elements plus the ethers. The letter A is also a ah sound, a part of a mothering sound. And the U at the end, the U, is universal. So Avadaru is bringing forth a universal divine mother principle into being. And it's time for, like, get our higher selves in gear. We're this little tiny ant-like creature walking around in the field of the higher self. Akhenaten said, and guess what? You might be one of the Anunnakis. People say, when I'm gonna meet the Anunnakis, you might be one of them. So your higher self is huge, a huge being. Get ready. It's going to be essential as you delve into the nature of Avaru. If you say it in so many different ways, you will feel the divine feminine energy. I don't feel any divine masculine energy in it. I feel more of the divine feminine energy. Even the letter V is a receiving energy, and the letter R is the will of the mind or the solar energy. So there's a lot in there, and it's time to let it loose. Avaru is also Ava. Ava is a feminine name. So that's very, very prominent. And do you pray to it? No, you talk to the energy. There are beings that are traveling with Avaru that are sort of like ambassadors, emissaries. And it does carry around itself a protective light, a golden band of light is shimmering on it, and there's a little bit of the amethyst light that's coming through, and a silver light. But these lights change. Sometimes there's blues and green lights that it gives off, but they keep changing. These are signals of frequencies that those that are connected to Avaru are getting out into the galaxy. So the more people tune in, the more people pray in groups if they want, or solo, the stronger the presence of Avaru will become. The stronger the presence of those who remember themselves in the time of Atlantis will show up. Those who have a connection to the Anunnakis will show up. We're living in that era of time where everything is being revealed. I heard that a person said the apocalypse means the lifting of the veil. So the veils are being lifted and the awakening is beginning to happen, and people are beginning to walk around with the feeling of the omnipotent power within themselves, the omnipresent power within themselves. In other words, the people are going to embrace their own authenticity when it comes to being more of the beacon light in this world. And this is why these other lights are crumbling. So we bring out more of the beacon light. It will give more courage to those who are fighting those other battles to go against that which is negative, but it's going to bring the positive out. In other words, the brothers and sisters that are sitting up on the mountains will now come down. The shamans are going to come down. The shamans are going to make a path for the warriors to go up to greet them to get their healing so they can go back into the line. We're going to see less and less negativity. But right now, you're seeing a lot because it's based on fear. So Avaru is like a huge transformer rolling around in the atmosphere. Whoever can tune into it should tune into it and see what information that you receive. Any other questions? I would like to thank all of you that are present right now who are here and coming. Invite more friends or family members. I've been on since 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and what is that, 9:30 Central Time. And I have a big day tomorrow, so uh, maybe I'll stay on for another hour, and then I got to go to sleep. Any other questions? This is a great time. I taught a workshop last night privately, and it was called The Awakening. And the person who participated in it with me, we were going through so many different analysis that it was kind of mind-boggling. There is Rose Jefferson. Good evening. And so there was so much information that was coming forward uh, last night based on the title I had called The Awakening. And the awakening is happening on many levels. People are waking up emotionally, not being enslaved by negative emotions. People are waking up mentally, not being enslaved by negative thought forms. People are waking up physically in this plane, not being enslaved by others who want to control their bodies. And then there's the spiritual, and then the ethereal. So there's an awakening that's happening literally 24/7. We all are waking up, and we're all hearing thoughts coming through the veils, and we need to start to communicate with what we are hearing, but also with discernment, because there's people who are trying to mislead us or misdirect us. You're welcome, Golden Timeline. People are trying to mislead us so that we don't step into that power, so that we don't embrace that power. But hey, there's many people out here, from the Billy Carsons to the Blue Pill and Red Pill and Brother Panic, all these people. What's the other guy, Rodney Hayes? There's so many people now that are releasing information. Is Queen Afua out there teaching her stuff? She's been doing that for years. I met her long ago up in Harlem, and she was just getting started. But look at her now. She's out there teaching. Brother Lloyd Strayhorn out there teaching. King Simon out there. Brandon Smith out there. Everybody has something to offer. You're welcome, Brother Holly. Everybody has something to offer. And like I said, this is being recorded live. So you can, when it's over, you can just invite people back to listen to it. And I think what is going to be very, very unique is to listen to the message that came, that I was able to hear from beloveds Akhenaten and Nefertiti in unison, because that's very, very important. We have to free this mind. We have to free this body. We have to step into the higher self before people try to entangle it. We don't need anybody entangling and manipulating what is yours. I have another message that's coming. And like I say, I belong to another group called High Vibe Channeling. If you are into channeling, Holly had a chance to witness one. I invited him one. He got a lot of information out, and he shared a lot of information too. Um, there's something called a hybrid children, and hybrid children are those children on the earth that have a remembrance to their galactic side. Um, the first one that came to me showed up in my apartment days before I was due to channel, which I channel on the third Sunday. So if you want to find out about High Vibe Channeling, they're on Facebook. Just type in High Vibe Channeling and join, and you'll see the various links. They have so many different people in the United States, Canada, in Europe, channeling, sharing information that they're receiving on a galactic level. And I received what would be equivalent to a teenager in American standards, age 15, but the children are priceless or ageless. He's from Sirius, blue being Sirius. And his name was Banil or Banal. And Banal's present. He's whispering, he's like behind me whispering. And he wants to remind all of you that children, foremost, will always be the guiders of a nation. More children are going to come forward. And the more you see these children come forward from all nationalities, all villages, tribal villages around the world, the more that we see these children, according to Benal, a Syrious teenager, he says the more children are going to come to the surface again, and they're going to point out the adults who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're going to point out the children who have been poisoned by prejudice, personalities, those who are doing misogynistic things. They're going to find these other children who have been enslaved and captured, and they're going to try their best to free their mind. And these are the hybrid children coming in from other worlds that are already here. Just like we have rainbow children, just like we have indigo children, crystal children, well, hybrid children are here. They come and go all the time. Something like Avaru would allow them to get dropped off here in different parts of the globe to link up with each other and start to plan a way to connect. If you like this program, click that thumbs up. So that also helps as well. Again, I'd like to thank Holly Hemmett being here, and Golden Timeline, and James B7I3G coming on. And what we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, is help release some positive information. No, you're still on time. I've been on since 8:30 Mountain Time. I have a big day tomorrow with some things that I'm doing, teaching twice, so to speak, and working with some people. What I was doing is giving out some brief numerology insights based on birth month and birthday. I don't need the year necessarily, but to give out some information to help people kind of move forward in their life, or maybe to get some confirmation. I mentioned a little bit about some channeled information that I receive from my guides that come to me, which is Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Yes, that is definitely happening. Definitely. I'm gonna yes. Golden Timeline says Avaru is reawakening the sacred mounds across the globe, which is uplifting the Schumann resonance. So, and at the same time, that Schumann resonance is uplifting us at the same time. Now, I think someone shared with me that December 5th was a super moon uh, going on, full moon, but there's so many things. Can you imagine all these different flavors, I'm going to call them, interlocking, all these different flavors happening in the universe through the Milky Way, through the other galaxies, interweaving? People might say the mind of God or the mind of Goddess, divine feminine, divine masculine energies weaving, percolating. All that energy inside of us is allowing it, excuse me, let me raise up my chair. there. I don't feel like you just see my head. Is raising our energy in such a way that it is allowing us to see more. So we're going to begin to see things clearly. That means you can get up in the morning and see spirit walk through your house, see a being walk through your house. Can you imagine that? If you thought, I thought I saw something or saw someone, or I thought I saw grandma, granddad, I thought I saw my mom and dad, I thought I saw my dog or cat. Yeah, the veils are thinning out. So it's allowing you to see. You're not just seeing with the physical eyes, you're using the sight of the pineal gland and pituitary glands coming together, heart chakras, all these chakras in the body, all these meridian points coming together so that you can see into this world clearly for yourself. These things are happening. This is why I always tell people meditation is important. The more meditation you do, the calmer you become, the more centered you become. And then you don't overreact or underreact to anything. You see everything in the way that you're supposed to see it very clearly for yourself. And not only when you're seeing them, Holly Hemmett, you can talk to them. So you can imagine you can have a full conversation with all the beings that come around you. We're supposed to do that. But there are various other frequencies that are being laid out, designed to try to cut you off from doing that. So that's why it's not just the food that we eat, the gemstones that we wear, that we place around us, everything. Everything. It's not just fasting anymore. You have to utilize everything that you know around you and in yourself in order to materialize that, bring that energy all the way forward. And that's essential to your well-being. I don't profess to know everything. Like I said, I just follow what my ancestors. I used to have a circlegrace1.us website, but I was led by my ancestors to shut it down, so you won't find it online anymore. But if you want to catch up to me, you could. I had a paper here. Well, I'm going to begin to share more information on my Blue Sky channel. I don't know if many of you heard Blue Sky Social. Blue Sky Social was the beginning of, here it goes. Blue Sky Social was the beginning of Twitter before we know Twitter is Twitter, right? And the people that started Blue Sky have remained with that, and the rest went off to form Twitter over all these years. So I'm going to give you, I'm going to type in, I'm going to start to use them more often, and hopefully I will start utilizing Spotify, because I'm just having that need to put out as much information as possible. So here is my link on Blue Sky. And you should write this down if you want to kind of follow me over there. Now, I haven't really brought it all the way out to the surface yet, but I'll be using more information there. So that's one. And then I'm also utilizing Substack. So if you go to Substack, eventually I'll be placing information up on Substack. And so here's the link for the Substack. Websites can be very expensive, and sometimes it's just a little too much to take care of. I'm like in my 70s now, and I'm wanting to slow down a little bit and give more of my time to my nieces and nephews who are seeking information. So I want to be present for them. Let me back this one up a little bit. If you have any questions or comments, please release them now. And then I'm also on Instagram as and I put it all in caps as I think it shows up that way sometimes. I'm also on Facebook. Hopefully, one day soon, though, I will be popping out on Spotify. I used to have Anchor.fm, but Anchor.fm was a part of Spotify anyway, and so they absorbed uh, my shows that I had on Anchor.fm back into Spotify. But you'll find them. You can just see me there as Brother Francis Revels-Bey or Circle of Grace 1. So, Golden Timeline 711 is sharing with us that Avaru will be perigee to Earth 2 days before the winter solstice this year. Very potent energy. I would think that there's some type of revelation um, that's coming through for each and every individual on the planet. I would think that also there's a rebirth and a birthing that's happening at the same time, and that's just my opinion. Others, many of you here have your own, so you're going to see some things that you need to work with as well. But it is time for a rebuilding, a healing to take place for Mother Earth. She's going to do whatever she needs to do to get our attention so that we can restore peace, harmony, and happiness to everybody. You know, there's so many things going on financially that are crazy. Not only is it has been ruthlessly bad for homeless people, for disabled veterans, for disabled people, for children, but also seniors. It's hard for seniors to survive. And these corporations, these real estate corporations, who don't even live in the state where they own property, they're just being ruthless. And that has to come to a close. That has to stop, so that people can get back to working together instead of against each other. So, Brother Holly Hennett says, I really enjoy being a lefty. Don't know much about what this means. Well, usually people who are left handed, what I find, people who are left handed have a sharper, razor intuitive nature. People who are left handed have a sharper, razor like intuitive nature. Keep in mind, right side, intuitive, rules the left side. So you're writing from the spatial, intuitive side of the right hemisphere. I'm right handed. So, being a right-handed person, I'm in touch with the left hemisphere, which is more of the analytical linear side. So that means I have to study intuitive nature. I have to study psychic things to balance my analytical mind because I'm right-handed. So I hope that helps you out. Yeah. So I applaud all of you people who are left-handed because you're using your right brain and you're bringing forth strong spiritual energy, expressing yourself when you write or print as a left-handed person. And those people who are ambidextrous, meaning they can write with the right or left, they have a little bit more balance going on because they've equally balanced right and left hemisphere with themselves. Again, I want to thank all of you who are on here. We have about 19 more minutes to go, and I'll be here 2 hours. Knowing me, though, I might stay on a little longer. Again, I want to thank everybody for sharing your insights. And thank you, Golden Timeline 711, sharing the information about Avaru and what Avaru is doing right now. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Again, you'll be able to replay this and get more information out of it. Uh, no one is late coming here. When you come, you're on time because that's when you're supposed to be here. I'd like to thank Rose Jefferson. She's in here. There might be some other people in here as well. Not everybody has to participate in the chat if they don't want to. What I do say though is I had to. I don't feel like I have to say it now, um, but I always like to plant this seed. Be respectful here. I'm not here to put down political stuff or I have my opinions, but my opinions aren't law. So I'm not here to put down religious differences or anything of that nature. I am solely a metaphysical, spiritual teacher, and I like to share things about numerology, dream analysis. I also like to share uh, other information that's privy to me at certain times when I'm told to share it. Meditation is my foremost, strongest key point, and followed by numerology. I've been a numerologist since 1974. I've been a meditation teacher since 1974, and I'm still growing and prospering in those avenues. I'm being told to say something. I think I said it through Akhenaten and Nefertiti. I think they said it earlier. We have to learn how to see beyond the veils, whether we're seated in a chair or lying down or hands in our lap or on the table. But we have to begin to redevelop those skills of seeing through the veil because there are other parts of ourselves in other realms, other dimensions that are already doing the things that we in this lifetime, we in this particular lane are striving to accomplish. So the more that you can communicate and put forth your energy in a high positive way, the more, the greater the opportunity you will have in meeting up with other parts of yourselves, which are already living the light of your higher self. You might say we're like kites in reverse. There's other parts of us already living in the body of the higher self and seeing and communicating through the body of the higher self. Just here on earth, it runs a little, I'm not going to say backwards, but slow. And we have to learn how to bring it forward, which means we should just step forward without any fear. If we can step forward without any fear, we'll have a better opportunity to be seen as our higher self. And this is essential. It's time to be seen. This is not the time to hide the higher self. A higher self wants to meet other higher selves. And for those of you who don't know, I've written 7 books. This is book number 7. 7 amazing pathways to connect, activate, and communicate with your higher self. That's my real name there, Francis E. Revels-Bey. The book is entitled Radiant Heart. Within the book, toward the end, I always write the other books that I have written. And so for people to get to know that. Now, the address that's in the back of this book, I no longer am using that address. So if you were to get this book, you're going to see a contact address that will say Francis E. Revels-Bey in care of Circle of Grace 1, and the address will be 8201 Golf Course Road, da 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 da. And then it'll give the website. Well, right now the website is down. I'm not using the website. I kind of canceled it out. The website was www.circleofgrace1.us. Listening to my ancestors, they said to cancel it out. This address, 8201 Golf Course Road, Suite D3, number 278, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So if you do want to send me a letter, you can send it to me as Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, or you can use this address. And this is just, again, you want to send me a letter. Okay, so you should send it to 3705 Ellison Road, Northwest, Suite B-1. That's also in Albuquerque. And I'm going to write it in the chat. Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87114. -7105, but you can leave the 7105 out. Not going to give my phone number. So I'm going to put this in the chat right now. The new now this is not where I live. This is the UPS box address. So just in case someone wants to send me a gift if you want, hey, you can send the gift and I'll get it because it's be in safe hands. But you can write to me. That's my name. And you will send your letter to 3705 Ellison Road, Northwest, Suite B-1, and that will be in Albuquerque. Hold on. Golden timeline. So everybody, if you have a letter that you want to send, just send to Francis E. Revels-Bey at 3705 Ellison Road, Northwest, Suite B-1, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87114. Now, Golden Timeline just had an important question, and you know that with your powerful numbers going on for yourself, that these numbers 4 and 13 produces a 17, which is an 8, right? And if you add that to 2025, that brought you up to an 8 personal year. So you entered an 8 personal year. So 8 is overcoming limitations, restrictions, dealing with power and authority figures, dealing with legal matters, also dealing with real estate, dealing with finances. Either they could be loans and debts, or they could be things that you pay off. Okay, and also some opportunities to change your financial structure around and change how you view to invest in yourself. So you're going to find yourself golden timeline investing in yourself. Now, what I'm hearing within me through my higher self to your higher self is you have been seeking a change for a very, very long time. You just didn't put it all into motion yet, but you've been seeking the change. And you're in the 8 personal year now. So on your birthday next year, you're going to enter a 9 personal year. So if I got that right, you're going to enter a 9 personal year, and in that 9 personal year, you're going to seek some changes. In other words, something is closing down and something new is happening for yourself. Since you're in the 8 right now, next month will be a 9 personal month. So that's going to give you an idea of how things can look for you when you step into the 9 personal year. Now, I'm also feeling is don't venture out too much if you're not ready to do so. Only do it if you planted your seeds and you're ready to harvest a new career, a new path for yourself. Maybe what you should do is just make sure everything is in place first before you step all the way out there. Now, if you have already been working on transformational changes, personally, business wise, career wise, changes through your family, then you might be able to pull it off right away, even before your birthday comes into place. But you're going to enter the 9 personal year on your birthday next year. You're going to be in it. And that's one of your numbers anyway. Your birth key numbers are 4, 1, and 9, alternative 2 and 7, or 7 and 2. So you're basically right where you're supposed to be. So you might want to look at January and February and March, right? Because during those times, that's when you get a chance to rehash what you've been thinking about. You just got to make sure you feel comfortable doing it. That's what I see and that's what I feel. And plus, you got the destiny number. Look at that. 1970 is an 8 universal year that you were born into. And then you have the 4, 8, 4 is 12, which is 3, and 3, 4 is 7. So you might be getting ready to walk onto a spiritual path because your life path or destiny number is 7. And that's something that you're supposed to do or that you should consider doing. It's a timing, but it's also a willingness to step forward when you can't see everything in place. I don't know. I keep hearing that you're supposed to formulate something with a group of other people. Okay, Rose Jefferson says she's in um, a 6 personal year coming up. So, yeah, when you're moving from the 5, 5 is seeking change, doing something different, but stepping into the path as swiftly as you can. When you enter a 6 personal year, what you want to look at for yourself is how you feel about what you're doing. 6 is an emotional number. It's Venus. It's also a number that deals with art and luxury and also with the creation of finances. So you might want to look at your financial picture as well, but also how you feel health wise. That would be very important for yourself, Rose. How do you feel health wise? Also, at the same time, make sure you feel comfortable with what you are about to step into. That's going to be very important. Feel comfortable. Now, some people say don't get too complacent about things that you want to accomplish. Don't be too laid back. But if you have been a person who's walked a path where you've had a lot of difficulties in your life, you don't need to do anything that's upsetting. You just need to stay in touch with your own value system, your own level of integrity, understanding exactly who you are. I see you putting forth a project, a small package of items that are going to help people feel a lot better about themselves. I see you also doing something with cards, not a playing deck of cards. They could be cards of like an affirmation card or gratitude card. It could be a set of cards that deals with gratitude, that deals with compassion, that deals with serenity and peace, that deals with harmony. And you'll have these sections to work in. So let's say being born on the 31st, 3 plus 1 is 4. So you might have 4 decks inside of another deck of cards. The entire deck symbolizes the breath of something brand new horizon. And then these individual decks, which don't have to be a lot of cards, by the way. They could be a smaller set of cards that talk about the different principles that I just mentioned. One deck within that major deck talks about compassion, one talks about forgiveness, one talks about understanding, one talks about unconditional love, or unconditional love and serenity, unconditional love and peace, unconditional love and creativity. However you design it, that's how it's going to be. And you also might put gemstones with it, some basic gemstones that you might consider working on and putting them together. Anybody else has a question? I haven't forgotten. I want to put everybody through a guided meditation before I sign off as well. Again, I want to thank Rose Jefferson, who is here, Golden Timeline 711, who is here. You're welcome, Rose. Also, thank Holly Hemmett. Also, want to thank James, who joined us. And way at the top, uh, Chef New York K. Thank you for uh, coming in and being a part of the chat, whether you said anything or not. Even the prayer hands is just as good. So remember to hit the like button if you haven't. Um, when I sign off, share the link with some friends if you'd like. It's okay by me. Uh, the channel page is set up where people can't move my videos to their page, but they can definitely share the link where some people can come and listen and leave a comment. If you have any questions, you can always, or comment. Not all of us might want to share everything with the audience. So you can always email me at iam.circleofgrace1 at gmail.com, and that will help you bring forth some information. Also, Holly, I want to thank the people that you had me read for, which was Shantae and Rochelle. Give them my love and peace and grace. Is there anything else that anyone would like to say? The time is now 10:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, that's 12:30 a.m. Central Time zone, that's 11:30 p.m. And if you're in the Pacific Coast area, out in California and so forth, then you are looking, or if you're under the Pacific time zone, like part of Arizona and of course Nevada might be, then it will be 9:30 p.m. for you. Again, thank you for letting me be present in this moment. Okay, so I've been on about 2 hours. And what I would like to do is give you all a guided meditation. This is one of my Circle of Grace ones, guided meditations under the heading of Creative Pathwork Meditation Series. I've developed well over 400, 500 of these meditations ever since when I began in 1996 with them. I used to put a lot on audio cassette back in the day. I have the Journey to Grace. I have the Great Central Sun. So what we're going to do, and I just, the Angel of Grace, which is the Archangel Haniel, we're going to go with my creative pathwork meditation series. And this is, I want to get the right number. This is CPM, that's the code. This is CPM 014, which is called Journey to Grace. So if you'd like to take this journey, maybe you may not want to take it now. You might do it within later when you replay this video. But I'm going to give it to you right now. And this was copyright way back in 1997, y'all. So this is way back from 1997. That's a long time. That's how long I've been doing these different guided journeys. And we're going to kick this off right now. So I want you to get as comfortable as possible. Have a gemstone around you, have some water, some warm tea, not hot tea, but something that's like a little bit of room temperature for yourself. I want you to feel as comfortable as possible. And I want you to know that when you take this journey with me, I have to adjust my chair all the time. When you take this journey with me, that it's going to put you in a state of mind where the presence of grace is. It's going to put you in the presence of divine grace, which is also unconditional love that dwells deep within your heart chakra. So as you begin to take this journey, I want you to begin to inhale through the nose, release the breath through the mouth. Take your time and do that without pausing at the top of the inhalation or the base of the exhalation, and repeat that series. Each cycle is a series or a cycle of breathing. So do it about 4 or 5 times. And as you begin to allow yourself to settle within yourself, feel a sense of peace, harmony, and happiness within you. I want you to feel the presence of this light to be all around you. That creates calmness for you. Where you feel a sense of greater wellness for yourself. You might feel a rocking sensation. You might move the body forward then back, or you might rock to the right or the left, or it might have you doing like a spiraling effect. But at some point, you have to hold the body still. Breathe deeply, and then exhale. I want you to place your awareness on the center of your sternum, because right behind that bone is your physical heart. And on either side of the heart is a lung. And I want you to allow yourself to go to a place, a memory deep inside you, where you see yourself on an earthen path, plenty of grass and greenery all around, and maybe a few leaves on the ground, but definitely trees. Along the way, you see a cluster of birch trees. You see a cluster of pine trees. You see some more evergreens. And just ahead of you, as you're on this earthen path, you see many of Mother Earth's creatures. A few bears. They know that you're present, but they're not scary. They're just acknowledging your presence. You feel the presence of deer or the does or turtles or butterflies. They are aware of your presence, but not interrupting your flow. As you allow yourself to go deeper within this journey now, you see yourself standing nearby a placid lake. And there's this footbridge that goes over the lake. It's not a huge lake, and it's not a long footbridge. It's made out of stone. And the sides in and out are glistening with light from the sun. But as you walk across this footbridge and come across the lake to the other side, you see a huge, huge building made out of white and gold marble. It almost reminds you of a museum. And I want you to look at the flowers along the way and walk up the steps, go inside. And as you walk inside, there are a few powerful beings that are present, that are waiting for you and escorting you throughout the building. And as they escort you throughout the building, they are allowing you to connect. And as you connect with them, you feel this presence where there's a sense of total excitement, where you can acknowledge or be acknowledged. by other people and beings that you see there. As you look across the vast hall, there are rooms. Some rooms have nothing but sculptures, beautiful sculptures. Another room, beautiful paintings and drawings. Another room across the hall are just flowers. Look like they were growing there, straight out of a garden. You continue to peek in. You're allowed to walk around. But the assistants, the beings that are there, have something for you to experience. And they are allowing you to walk into this bigger room. In this bigger room, you see this bejeweled chair, like a throne, colorful, very soft pillows. The bottom pillow almost gives off a blue, radiant blue, and the back pillow for the back of the person. Beautiful. But it's not meant for you to sit in it, it's just to look at it. Observe it. You can go touch it. You are in a great palace, a great place of healing. Marble columns and floors are very healing and lend courage and strength to you. You're looking around and you hear what sounds like a door opening behind this bejeweled throne. And you hear voices, laughter, sounds like children. And behold, it's a mass of children coming out. Some have flowers, some have candies in their hands and in their baskets, and some have beautiful, beautiful clusters of rose petals. And they begin to drop the rose petals all around the bejeweled throne. And they begin to drop the rose petals, blue rose, pink rose, red rose, yellow rose, of all hues, all over the marbleized floor. Children. Children who are waiting for you to meet this presence that now strides out of this room with a beautiful gown, a beautiful robe over the gown, a beautiful cowl. The cowl is the hood. You can just make out the face. It looks a little hazy, but it's bright energy coming out of the hood. You can just barely make out the eyes and the face. You know, when you look at this figure is the embodiment of a woman, but it's the embodiment of a divinely feminine energy. Her presence smells of the flower rose. Her eyes are bejeweled too. Her iris has many colors in the eye. You feel mesmerized by her presence. She's being led by children to seat on her throne. This is the angel of grace, also known as the Archangel Haniel. And she is the angel of compassion and the angel of grace. Mercy is not even on her mind, it's grace, the companionship of grace being bestowed upon you. The angel of grace has selenite all around the base of her bejeweled throne. Her throne has blue diamonds, yellow diamonds, amethysts, clear quartz, aventurine, citrine, ametrine, malachite, moldavite. In fact, the rim of the top of her throne, the back, has selenite and moldavite on it. There's hematite on it as well. There's a sense of wholeness that comes from this throne, but comes through the heart center of the angel of grace. And she beckons you to come to her. And she doesn't want you to kneel in front of her. That is not necessary. Just stand comfortably in front of her and place your hands in her hands. And take a moment and feel the presence of her frequency coming out of her heart, coming out through her arms, through the base of her throat, through her entire face. She has a very unusual but enlightening crown and is just made of a pure light upon her head. One of the children to her left gives her a chalice. And the child pours light into the chalice. And another child to her right gives her a chalice. And now the angel of grace pours back and forth the liquefied light of her grace. A beautiful, beautiful golden blue light being poured back and forth from one chalice to the next. And this gives it vibrancy. The chalice in her left hand is for her. The chalice in her right hand is for you. And she beckons that you both toast each other and then sip the light. The light that you are sipping is the light of divine grace, unconditional love, and divine protection, peace and harmony, unconditional love that goes beyond your presence. And she takes a moment and she sips again and beckons you to sip from your chalice. And you do. And she beckons that you drink more of the light, and more of the light, and more of the light, until your cup appears to be empty, but not really. And you both give your cups back to the child that gave you the cup. The angel of grace looks deeply into your eyes. And it's almost like she's singing a lullaby to you. But she's singing a tune of grace, beauty, harmony, peace, compassion, understanding. And in that, she imparts to you a great wisdom that is infinite. She has bells, and she rings the bells in your ears and around your face and in front of your heart. And each child, as she stands and walks with you in front of her down the steps, she beckons that each child give you a gift from their basket or from their woven bag. And these gifts, when they're given to you, each child places the gift on your heart center, the center of your sternum, and you absorb the light from the gift. And at this time, this moment, the angel of grace whispers a message that only you can hear, that only you can receive. Only you can receive that special gift, that special wording that she is leaving inside of you. She now asks that you and her embrace each other for a moment that slips away and goes into a realm of higher awakening, of higher remembrance. And that at any point you remember anything of this journey, you don't have to remember the whole thing, but if you just remember a part of it that speaks out to you, you will know who you are becoming more of than any other time in your life. She just wants you to feel like you're being rocked back and forth or side to side. You can smell the essence of roses all around you. And when you look toward the face of the angel of grace, you will see her eyes are endless. And whatever she spoke to you, you will remember. It's a part of you, a part of your gift of grace in this lifetime. She asks that the children of grace, overflowing with laughter, walk you back to the entrance, which is now the exit, and down the marbleized steps, and she waves to you. She says, I'll see you in your dreams, and we shall toast and sip again in your dreams. And you will not forget anything. You are total, absolute remembrance. And the children lead you to the beginning of the footbridge that goes over the placid lake and brings you back into this moment in your own heart. You may shed a few tears, or you may just look at your palms, or you just might see a reflection of yourself all over your residence. But you'll feel the presence of the angel of grace who is leaving bits and pieces of her essence with you. I want to thank you for joining me. Now, what I just did for you is gave you a very special variation of CPM 014, Journey to Grace. Know that your journey to grace has begun, has been crowned for you. Thank you for joining me this evening. And again, you can replay this at any time. Follow me on the other platforms that I am on. I look forward to speaking to all of you real soon. I love you all unconditionally. I want to thank Golden Timeline 711, Rose Jefferson 1069, that we're here this evening, Holly Hemmett, who is here also, as well as James B7I3G. Thank you for being present. Greatly appreciate that. Also, like to thank Chef NYK7243 for being present. I'm going to sign off now. You can review this at any time when you feel like it. Have a great rest of your evening, a great tomorrow, a greater weekend. And when Spirit tells me to come back, I will. Until then, have a great one, everybody. Thank you all.